Now, before TSR, you worked at Mayfair Games too, didn't you?
Nope, other way around.
Other way. So TSR,
Yeah,
then Mayfair.
right.
Okay. And my question for both of those is, in general, did you feel like you were being micromanaged, or did you have ample freedom to manage your own creative process? I mean, of course, there's schedules and there's work requirements. Got that. But were they breathing down your neck?
Mayfair, no, it was almost entirely freelance and on your own time, and deadlines were about the only thing that we heard about. TSR, yes and no. There were times we had great freedom, and there were times that it seemed like every single executive above our position had their fingers in sticking something around. So yeah, it was a mix of those situations.
I got
Uh,
you. So
yeah,
Mayfair, more hands off, just make sure you get the work done. And then
right,
TSR, mixed bag.
right. Enough has been said about Brian and Kevin Bloom and to fill books,
They
uh,
literally do. Yeah.
and literally do. And their interference in the creative process. I will say that Gary never interfered in things we were writing. If we were editing something of his or editing something that a friend of his wrote, he would sometimes interfere and tell us hands off. Our phrase was we could edit it with a feather duster made of pixie wings, So that was how we were allowed to edit Friends of Gary material. So yeah, some micromanagement. A lot of times we were given some free reign.
I got you. Was it actually fun working at a game company, or was it kind of like making the donuts, working in the salt mines? Other people have fun with your stuff, but it's tough making it.
Yes and no. There were days when it felt like, oh, this is a very mundane job that we're laboring at. If you're doing the physical layout of piece, and then somebody, an executive says, well, I don't like the typeface or something like that. We go, oh, come on, really, I'm gonna have to redo all of this.
And for
But
the young
yeah,
people out there, they had to manually do typeface. They couldn't just copy, paste, find, replace in a Word
no,
document.
you typesetting equipment only would could be bought by printers. So you sent your material to the printers, and you got back galleys of typeset material, and then you physically laid them out on paste up boards. If you needed to move a paragraph, you took a scalpel and peeled it off and put it up, to move it up to here. And then you said, oh, Mr. Sutherland, now I need an illustration that's an inch and a half tall by one column because we had to move this paragraph. And that's how some filler art came to be.
Uh, I'm amazed at the quality of the products y'all were able to put out with that cumbersome a method. Y'all still did some fantastic work. It is
Well, in
wonderful.
those days, it really was a labor of love. When you worked at TSR, you were hired for pretty darn near minimum wage, at least in 1978. And you were told, we expected you to work at least 48 hours a week. So 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. The good news is that over 40, you get time and a half. So yay. But there were 60-hour weeks sometimes, and it's a good thing we were young and had a lot of energy. Yes, that was a labor of love, and it was really cool in the building that is now the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum. That was TSR when I went there in 1978. Everything was in that building. The hobby shop, accounting, Dragon Magazine, Little Wars shared one office. Gary had an office, and I had an office. Well, not originally, but I was in the art loft sharing a desk with another editor. But Gary's office is 5 steps down the hall to ask him a question if we had to ask him a question. So that was cool.
That is cool. Do you have a favorite memory from working at TSR? or Mayfair, whichever place you have the fondest work memory from.
Well, now Mayfair was entirely correspondent, freelance.
Okay.
I was working my game and bookstore at the time that I was writing stuff for them. At TSR, favorite memory. There were many, many.
An acceptable answer is none, because it was horrible working there. That's whatever your favorite memory.
It wasn't a lot of the time. You know, I guess when I was made manager of designers and we were given authority to start hiring some other people, and I was looking at and was like, okay, we're going to get Merle Rasmussen on board, and look at the resume from this new guy, Tracy Hickman. I think he's going to be good. You know, we put together, I think, the best team of designers, developers, and editors the role-playing world's ever seen. It was cool.
That's a good one.